guys, lots more stuff to talk about today. It seems like in the lead up to E3, there's just plenty of things happening. First up, Nintendo of America announced, we're excited to share an official partnership with @Playverse that will make hashtag Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and hashtag Splatoon 2 officially recognized varsity athletics at participating high schools beginning in fall 2021. I assume potentially Splatoon 2 will turn into Splatoon 3 once that game comes out. Pretty cool to see Super Smash Bros. Officially acknowledged by some high schools, though I instantly thought of that time Hank Hill got mad at Bobby for taking video games as his PE class. So I don't know how parents are going to feel about kids playing Smash in school, but hey, I think it's cool. Also, Vergeben posted in a Smash Bros. Thread on game FAQs. It's been a while, so I figured it's worth mentioning. The thread in question was titled, Should we pay attention to Practical Brush 12 before E3? And Vergeben wrote, you'd be wise to pay attention to the Brushy. I don't think Practical Brush 12 really needs Vergeben's endorsement, as Practical Brush 12's track record speaks for itself. But still, there you go, Vergeben thinks Practical Brush 12 is worth paying attention to. Practical Brush 12 does only seem to get info shortly before things are revealed, so I suspect if they get any future info, it'll be posted very shortly before E3. But they are one of the few people to correctly predict Fighter Pass 2 characters, so definitely worth keeping an eye on them. In the last video I did, I talked about the voice actors for Crash Bandicoot and Neo Cortex, teasing some recordings they did recently, but we don't know exactly what they were for, or even if it was Crash related, though it certainly seems like it probably is. We were speculating if it was possibly something for Smash Bros, like a Crash Bandicoot reveal trailer, and if the level of teasing they were doing would even be allowed if the recording was for Smash Bros. Well, Justin Nagel left an interesting comment on my last video. They wrote, it's possible the Crash and Neo voice actors legit have no clue what it's for and are just playing around. They didn't tell Grant Kirkhope he was composing a track for Smash, they just told him they wanted a Spiral Mountain remix. If Lex and Scott were recording a reveal trailer per se, they could have no idea out of context. Now, I'm not positive about Grant being in the dark when he did the remixes for Banjo. I know at some point he was aware Banjo was coming to Smash, though. But regardless if he was aware initially or not, this is an interesting theory. Maybe they got called in to do some mysterious recording, and they really don't know what it was for, so they're just teasing that the recording happened at all. Considering how secretive Smash Bros. Can be, I suppose that is possible. Although I think if these professional voice actors did a recording that was so secret they weren't even told exactly what it was for, they'd probably know enough not to be teasing about it, as it would clearly be a highly sensitive recording that they should probably keep their mouths shut about. Interesting theory either way, though. Well, now, once again, there's actually a new Instagram video from Lex Lang, the voice actor for Neo Cortex, once again teasing this mysterious recording, so I'll play that one for you guys.
Oh, hey, it's Lex here, and just finished another really good session. Oh, by the way, what I was going to tell you guys in my last video...
Hey, Lex.
Yeah.
They need you for another...
Oh, okay, I'll get back to it in a second, but... they need me now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, all right, thanks. Just one sec.
And again, he doesn't finish what he was going to say. The teasing is getting really intense here. Richie Farley on Twitter wrote, another installment of Instagram videos by Scott and Lex. This time, this one is from Lex. Interesting how he puts the word not in front of Netflix, Twinsanity, and Surprise, but not in front of Smash. Maybe this is a trick here, but still interesting. And that's true. If you look closely at the hashtags, it says hashtag not in front of some of the other things like Netflix and Twinsanity, but it's not written in front of Smash Bros. Maybe a clever way of telling us this is for Smash? Probably reading too much into this one, but hey, Crash and Smash would be awesome, so we can still hold out some hope here. Alright, so also last video I mentioned some articles were saying Sakurai was retiring after the Smash DLC finishes, and that these articles were wrong about that. Push Dustin explains Sakurai isn't retiring from the game industry, but rather he's going to stop writing his bi-weekly Famitsu columns once the Smash DLC is done. Well, we now have the full translation of what Sakurai said, thanks to Source Gaming. This was translated by Cody Nicolo and Robert Sephazon, and I'm just going to read a few of the key points Robert Sephazon posted on Twitter. In keeping with the theme of the column, Sakurai continues, he believes this is an opportunity to make one more announcement. When all Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC is released, the game will be finalized, and he believes this will be quite soon. Sakurai says that while we wait, he can say definitively there are only 2 fighters remaining. They will both be released this year. Sakurai ends by saying that he will not be quitting game-related work after development wraps up, and will continue to work hard to the finish. Sakurai adds an additional note at the bottom of the column saying that he has been writing columns for Famitsu for 18 years. It's been a long series for a game developer to write, but he'll continue for just a little longer. Okay, so there are a few really big things that were said there that we'll talk about a bit more later on in this video. Robert Sephazon went on to add, to clarify part of my Sakurai's Famitsu Column translation, his one more announcement is referring to the in-column talk of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate development wrapping up after all DLC is released, which is soon. Soon is relatively speaking, not necessarily implying a double E3 reveal. So Sakurai is saying that after all the Smash DLC is done, he will be able to talk a bit more about it in the Famitsu Column he writes. So he'll continue to write the column at least until the Smash DLC is over. But he's probably going to end the column after that. He also mentions, once again, that only 2 fighters remain. So we will go over a bit later in this video what Sakurai saying only 2 more could mean for Smash speculation. And specifically what it could mean for our speculated, hypothetical, possible chance of getting a bonus fighter after the second pass. If there's only 2 more, obviously that would mean no bonus fighter. And Sakurai said the DLC could be over soon, though Robert Sephazon says that soon is relative here and doesn't necessarily mean something like a double reveal at E3. Although I do want to discuss the possibility of a double reveal at E3 a bit later on. Sakurai also tweeted a few things about this Famitsu Column retirement stuff. This column has been serialized in Weekly Famitsu for over 18 years, but I decided to finish it in a while after distributing all the downloadable contents of Super Smash Bros. SP. Maybe it was the longest in a game developer's magazine column. There is still a period until the end, but please keep in touch with the readers. It seems that some of the summaries are written as thinking about old age and quitting the column, but it's different. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not retiring from the game industry. Maybe. So Sakurai says once again he's just going to stop doing the columns after Smash Bros. DLC is done and isn't retiring from the game industry. Maybe. He adds a maybe at the end there, so it seems Sakurai probably is uncertain just what the future will hold for him. But whether he simply takes a break from gaming, or just stops writing the column for Famitsu, or even if he actually ended up retiring completely, he certainly earned the rest, whatever it is, either way. Also that same day, Sakurai went on to tweet a few other things, mostly more anniversary tweets. He did one for Dragon Quest, and we had the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary event where some cool stuff got announced. We got a Dragon Quest 12 announced, but the coolest looking game we saw from that, in my opinion, was the remaster of Dragon Quest 3. That looks similar to like Octopath Traveler, in style anyway. That one looks pretty sweet. Sakurai also accidentally posted a pic of Sonic and deleted it shortly after, replacing it with a tweet explaining what the mistake was. I posted an anniversary tweet of Sonic the Hedgehog on the wrong day. Delete it and put it out again. It will be released on June 23rd. Excuse me, I thought I would make a mistake someday, that's why posting is always exciting. As far as mistakes go, this is fairly minor. Imagine if Sakurai ever accidentally posted a pic that included some unrevealed fighter or an unrevealed stage. But Sakurai also did another Sonic tweet that same day for the correct anniversary of Sonic 3. And we had that Sonic 30th anniversary event, Sonic Colors Ultimate and Sonic Origins featuring Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic & Knuckles, and Sonic CD were announced. There's also possibly a leak for the new Sonic game as well. PTKickass on Twitter checked the metadata from the 4K version of the new Sonic game teaser and wrote, "Leaked 4K version of the new Sonic game teaser contains some interesting stuff." And then there's an excerpt, and you can see it says the word Rangers a lot. So what's really interesting about the data containing the word Rangers is that there's been some 4chan posts talking about an open-world Sonic game titled Sonic Rangers. I don't want to get way off topic going into all this, so I'm not going to read these posts. Feel free to pause the video and read them yourself, of course. The big takeaway here, though, is that there might be an open-world Sonic game called Sonic Rangers, possibly taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild. We'll have to wait and see if any of these 4chan Sonic Ranger leaks actually end up being true, but considering we have the word Ranger in that data, these might be actually legitimate leaks. Even if these are real, do take these 4chan posts with a grain of salt, as they're probably from like game testers or something, and were from a few months ago. So whatever state the game was in when these people played it, it's probably been polished up quite a bit since then. Going back to what Sakurai posted the other day, he also posted a tweet for the anniversary of Metroid Zero Mission. I had to kind of double check if this image was actually from the real Sakurai's Twitter account, and yeah, it was. Anyway, speaking of Metroid, some interesting speculation for some other Nintendo stuff. Bloomberg is reporting once again about some new Switch model, possibly a Switch Pro version or something. Exclusive new Nintendo Switch, which would replace current $299 model, is planned for release in September-October. Announcement could be imminent, ahead of E3. Really interesting, they say it could release between September and October, and the announcement could be imminent, maybe even before E3, which would be rather shocking, as E3 seems like the perfect time to announce such a console. But of course, if companies have games they want to show off that are going to release on that console, I guess it does kind of make sense. Maybe the console would be announced beforehand, so that E3 could show off all those games without waiting for the console actually getting announced. Emily Rogers wrote, with Pokemon being a November release, I'm curious to see where Metroid fits into the schedule. Speculation, September-October might be a reasonable release window for Metroid. Samus Returns was a September title. Other M and Federation Force were August titles. She was talking about the Diamond and Pearl remakes getting a release date of November 19th. So potentially that rumored new Metroid game could show up in the late summer or early fall around September. They also responded to the question, is this new hardware the same as Bloomberg has been reporting on or something entirely different? Emily Rogers said yes, Bloomberg's report was accurate. New screen, upgraded chips, aiming for September-October release. An announcement is imminent. We might be getting news sooner than we thought. And then over on Reset Era, Nate Drake wrote, from Emily, hey Reset Era, with E3 coming up, I thought it would be a good time to clear up a few things. Based on everything I know, I'm pretty confident that Metroid is a lock for this year. The developers have already moved on to a new project. It's likely to release anytime between August through October. The big question is, does it get announced at E3 in June or a September Direct? Keep in mind that Nintendo has a history of releasing games 1 month after announcing them. In other news, an announcement for new Switch hardware is imminent. A hardware announcement is right around the corner. It could either be announced before E3 or a few weeks after E3. Either way, it doesn't sound like we'll be waiting long for news. End transmission. So we might get a look at the rumored Switch Pro anytime now, and that long-rumored new Metroid game as well. Now, after all these tweets were floating around, some places took a few joking around tweets to mean this upgraded Switch console would actually get revealed on Thursday, last Thursday. But thinking it was going to get revealed this past Thursday was based off of some tweets that were just kidding around and not serious. Anyway, speaking of people throwing their gut instinct speculation out there, gut instinct, does Breath of the Wild 2 launch with it? Jeff Grubb said yes. Gut instinct. Again, just speculative here, I'm sure, but it would make sense to launch Breath of the Wild 2 with this hypothetical upgraded Switch model. The first Breath of the Wild definitely helped push sales of the original Switch. Oh, and if we're going to be talking about joking around tweets, get ready for a Pokemon and a Sword user in Smash. Considering the other just joking tweet about the new Switch Pro model getting revealed last Thursday didn't happen, I wouldn't put any stock in this Pokemon and Sword user tweet. It's just a joke. Now, there's a slim possibility we may have actually had a leak for the name of this upgraded Switch model, though it's also possible it was just a placeholder name or something. On Amazon Mexico, a listing went up calling the product New Nintendo Switch Pro, but was quickly changed to a dummy ASIN. ASIN meaning Amazon Standard Identification Number. Then I guess there was another listing just calling it the New Nintendo Switch, again probably just a placeholder name though. I truly hope this was just a hypothetical name, as I don't care much for Nintendo's habit of naming things with the new title, as whatever it is, well, eventually it's not gonna be new anymore. Please call the console something cool like the Super Nintendo Switch. That would make everyone happy. Everybody loved the Super Nintendo. Call it the Super Nintendo Switch, and you'll have everybody excited. On the subject of the Switch getting some new upgraded Pro model, JohnBoy1000 on Discord wrote me, just thought I would share something with you in case you make a video about Switch Pro, Sonic, Metroid, and Dragon Quest. First, when Dragon Quest III HD 2D was announced, the host and Yuji Horii talked about the title. Yuji went on to mention a potential remake for Dragon Quest I and II as well. When Yuji mentioned this, a whistle was blown. Second, this is my speculation about Dragon Quest XII, they hid which hardware Dragon Quest XII will be on. But why would they hide it? When they were talking about the trailer, they blew the whistle when hardware was brought up. Maybe Dragon Quest XII is coming to the Switch Pro. Interesting speculation. Maybe we will learn about this new hypothetical Super Switch New Pro whatever system, and that's going to be the console that Dragon Quest XII is actually showing up on, and maybe they'll elaborate further on that during E3. Okay, so now I want to talk a bit more about some Smash speculation that came up while talking about this Sakurai retiring from the Famitsu Column stuff. Specifically, Sakurai once again stressing only 2 more characters left, and his comment about the DLC ending soon. Though once again, Robert Sephazon points out that soon in that comment was relatively speaking. So Sakurai saying only 2 more fighters left is nothing new. He's been stressing for a while now that the second pass would be the end of the Smash DLC. So this isn't the first time he said there'd only be 2 more characters to reveal. We have that missing URL spot on the Australian Smash website though, and we've been speculating how maybe it could be for something like a secret bonus fighter at the end. Now, I've been really clear whenever I've speculated about this possibility that it is dangerous speculation, and that we really should only expect the final 2 characters we've been guaranteed. If somehow a bonus fighter happened, it really should be taken as a bonus, and not as something we expect. With Sakurai once again stressing only 2 more fighters left, I think it's important to keep this in mind. However, I will say if some kind of extra bonus like Piranha Plant for the base game were to actually happen here, obviously they wouldn't allude to it before revealing that the extra character was happening. So basically, while I don't think we should expect one, the very concept of a secret bonus fighter only works if it's a secret, and we expect Challenger Pack 11 to be the end of Smash DLC. Again, not saying at all a bonus fighter will happen, just that of course they'd set up the ending to be Challenger Pack 11 if they wanted to surprise us with a bonus Challenger Pack 12 afterwards or something. So basically nothing new with Sakurai once again saying 2 more left. He said that before, and the bonus fighter is always sort of an out there theory anyway. If there was a 4th fighter to reveal this year, a bonus fighter at Challenger Pack 12 or something, this could also stretch out the DLC until December 2021, which was the time frame we were initially given for when Fighter Pass 2 would end, although maybe they were just giving themselves ample time to finish it. This is just speculation though, and if Sakurai says only 2 more left, once again we should keep our expectations at only 2 more left. And if anything more happens, we should consider ourselves very, very lucky. So a surprise bonus fighter is just as probable or improbable as it's always been, since we've always been told the Smash DLC would end after the second Fighters Pass. Let's also keep in mind the speculation about the missing URL spot on the Australian website doesn't have to end up being for a bonus fighter at all, and could totally be some other kind of extra surprise at the end. Possibly another bonus Mii costume like we got with the first and second pass. Maybe you get a 3rd Mii costume for buying both passes. Or maybe an extra stage, or even extra stages. We would have spots for more stages at the end. Or it could be something else entirely. Marsh over on Discord wrote me an interesting theory, and I'm just going to read a bit of what they wrote. Hey PapaGenos, I've had this theory that I have been thinking about for a while regarding Smash Ultimate that I am surprised I have not heard of anyone else share as far as I have seen, since it involves something that people have noticed since the game first released and still remains unexplained. If there really are plans to finish Smash Ultimate with a new adventure mode, expansion of World of Light, or something else like that, it seems highly probable that it might end up making something that has seemed odd from the start make sense all along. I believe that there is absolutely going to be a new adventure mode, and with it will come some new exclusive bosses and spirits. I think that these new bosses will mostly be various Mother and Kirby characters that are strangely absent, since what a lot of them seem to have in common is that they are mostly villains, or at least characters who you do fight in games at some point in Kirby's case. I've always liked this idea of getting an extension of World of Light or some other adventure mode added at the end. I think that's a really cool idea. I've heard people speculating about some additional one-player mode possibly being added at the end, and what I really like about Marsh's take on this is that it might potentially explain why characters like Porky are missing. Maybe they'll show up as part of some hypothetical World of Light expansion at the end as bosses or something like that in that mode. It would also make a lot of sense to save adding some extension of World of Light to Smash until after all of the DLC characters are added. By waiting until all the DLC is over, this hypothetical final adventure mode could pull things from every series in Smash, all the series after the DLC. Stuff we didn't have in base game like Persona or Banjo-Kazooie could get into this adventure mode. Subspace Emissary was one of the best parts of Brawl, and maybe secretly Sakurai and the team have been cooking up another CGI cutscene filled adventure mode for Ultimate, but it won't release until after all the DLC. Sakurai has said in the past he didn't like that people could just look up the cutscenes online for Subspace, but maybe he's changed his mind about that these days. He has changed his mind about stuff before. Anyway, adding some bonus one-player mode, like an extension of World of Light or something, would certainly be a high note for Smash to go out on. Seeing Banjo for just like a split second in the Sephiroth reveal trailer had me so excited just to see him interacting with the rest of the Smash cast. Getting an actual one-player experience with all of these characters, including the DLC characters, interacting together in some awesome adventure could be truly incredible. Obviously, this is extremely hypothetical and highly speculative, and the missing URL spot is probably for something you can purchase, so I don't know if a adventure mode like this really fits for something that would be sold separately. Maybe it could be free for people who bought both passes, but if you didn't, you'd have to buy it. I don't know. Anyway, just a cool alternate option for what the missing URL spot on that Australian website could be for if we truly do only have 2 more fighters left as DLC. And that brings me to the final thing I want to talk about in this video. Sakurai said the DLC would be ending soon. Robert Sephazon assured us that soon was relative here, and doesn't necessarily mean something like a double reveal for E3, ending our Smash DLC speculation very, very soon, in just a few short weeks before E3. But it also doesn't mean that isn't a possibility. Getting a double character reveal and ending the DLC in just a few short weeks at E3 is a possible scenario us Smash speculators should be bracing for. While I personally think they'll probably drag the DLC out a bit longer and they'll want to build that last final character left hype, it's entirely possible E3 reveals all Smash Ultimate has left, and that's that. That's the end. We get both characters there. But again, I think especially with the pandemic in mind, since that potentially slowed down game releases for Nintendo, that Nintendo would probably want to save these fighter reveals and sprinkle them out separately throughout the year, just to have things to announce over time, so there's no dead zones. I think Smash DLC is an easy way to pad out the rest of the year for Nintendo. So while I'm just expecting 1 character at E3, it's still possible we could get 2. We have traditionally gotten double reveals at E3. No idea if we would have gotten a double reveal last year had the pandemic not happened, but in years prior, E3 does usually reveal more than a single Smash fighter. Hero and Banjo got revealed in 2019. Daisy and Ridley were revealed in 2018. And for Smash 4, E3 had multiple fighter reveals during the lead up to base game and during the DLC. So with that precedent set, it is possible we will once again get a double reveal here in 2021. And if there really are only 2 fighters left and no bonus fighter, we could know the full Smash Ultimate roster very soon. We have been told the Smash DLC would end by December 2021. If both fighters got revealed, they'd likely still stagger the Sakurai Presents videos for them, and actual release dates for the fighters would be months away. So Smash speculation wouldn't completely end if both fighters got revealed. There'd still be moveset speculation, stage speculation, what Mii costumes we could get, stuff like that probably would last at least until the fall. One good thing about potentially getting the last 2 fighters both revealed at E3 is that if that happened, I assume they'd both be exciting character choices. I think if one fighter was clearly more hype than the other, they wouldn't want to release them together and risk one fighter completely outshining the other. So most likely they'd both have to be really hype fighters. Something that could work really well though is a double reveal similar to Hero and Banjo that we got for E3 2019, where they were both hype fighters but generally have strong fan bases in different parts of the world. Hero and Dragon Quest getting in Smash was really exciting specifically for the Japanese audience, while Banjo was very exciting specifically for the Western audience. Obviously there's some bleed over on both sides, but neither fighter eclipsed the other as their fan bases tended to be in separate parts of the world. So if another double reveal happened at this year's E3, I'd expect potentially something similar could happen. One fighter that appeals to the West and one fighter that appeals to the East. Lately, I've been speculating that Master Chief might be our big E3 reveal character, and admittedly, Halo and first-person shooters in general aren't very popular with the Japanese Smash fans. Maybe a way to even out revealing a character like Master Chief would be to do a double reveal and show off a second fighter that has more appeal to the Japanese fans. We could get really literal with this East and West thematic thing, and maybe something like Master Chief and Ryu Hayabusa could both get revealed together at E3. Master Chief, of course, being a gun-wielding military space marine is a very Western thing, and Ryu Hayabusa being a literal katana-wielding ninja, of course, fits pretty well for the Eastern fans, the Japanese fan base. Both of those characters have a decent amount of evidence in their favor, too. Koei Tecmo having stuff in Smash already since base game, but still no playable fighter, and being a company that's very close with Nintendo in general. All those Hayabusa interviews, mattering if you saw those as a good thing or a bad thing, and we have Verjaben mentioning Koei Tecmo negotiations happened. And then, of course, Master Chief being the final big Microsoft character might make sense given how close Nintendo and Microsoft have been lately, and the rumors of future collaborations together. Hayabusa being a sword user could also fit well for the missing Lloyd Mii costume that could show up alongside Hayabusa. Lloyd Irving is basically the only character we can be nearly certain will show up in Smash Ultimate at some point. But in what form is the question? As a Mii costume again, or as an upgraded playable fighter? Who knows? A Tales of rep like Lloyd could also fit for a series that has more appeal to Japan than it does to the West. So something like Master Chief and Lloyd, or Master Chief and Yuri or something, could work as the final two reveals for E3 and appeal to both the East and West. Or maybe something like Crash Bandicoot appealing to the West and Lloyd appealing to the East. Or Crash Bandicoot and Hayabusa. Or Jonesy from Fortnite could be another Western appealing character. There's lots of possibilities, too many for me to mention here if we consider a double reveal with two fighters, one for the West and one for the East. There's just a lot of options. And of course, there's plenty of fighters who have a lot of appeal for both Western and Eastern fans. Characters like Dante or Chosen Undead, I think, have a lot of worldwide appeal to the Japanese fans and the rest of the world. And when talking about what we could get at E3 and the potential of possibly getting more than one fighter, we can't count out first-party characters being possible too. Say Breath of the Wild 2 is a major part of Nintendo's E3 this year, which seems like it probably will be. Potentially a character from that game could show up in Smash as well. Having a Breath of the Wild 2 character like Breath of the Wild 2 Zelda get revealed alongside some other fighter at E3 might be a way of softening the potential backlash of such a character being revealed. If you reveal them alongside a big E3 third-party hype character, people might not be so mad about the other character that got revealed. That's kind of the opposite idea of what I said before about not having one character totally overshadow the other. But if Nintendo has a first-party character they plan on revealing that they're not so sure Smash fans are going to take all that well, maybe they'd like to soften that blow by having a really hype third-party character get revealed right beside them. Having both characters have equal amounts of hype really applies more to having two different third-party characters, as obviously two different third-party companies aren't going to want one character to overshadow their character getting in, but if it was a Nintendo first-party character, they might be a little more okay with that. And don't get me wrong, it is possible a first-party Nintendo choice could be someone the majority of Smash fans would actually be really happy to see, like Waluigi or even Porky. Porky again could fit as a choice that appeals more to a Japanese audience as well. So who knows what will happen at E3, who we could get, or even how many characters we might see there. It's a total mystery right now, and that makes it very exciting. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. It's kind of sad to start talking about how Smash Ultimate speculation could be coming to a close soon. But hey, with things like the rumored Switch Pro, there's plenty of other exciting Nintendo stuff to talk about even after Super Smash Bros. Ends. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.